Shalom, beloved. This is your brother and your friend Eric Mungai bringing to you the Radical Generation. This is the show where we impact you with the relevant knowledge so that you can be impactful in your line of calling. We are coming from Peak Rest Homes, where we have ample parking. It is only located 100 meters from the Nakuru CBD. There's enough security, there's enough parking lots, the spacious room, we have in-room services. You will be glad you contacted them, and the details are on your screen. Now, we promise to bring you the best of the best. Today, we are going to discuss a topic that is so important in your life, because I've come to understand in this short life that I have lived, the majority of our decisions as adults are really influenced by some traumas we had as children. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is that your childhood might have a bearing on the decisions you make right now, and might have a bearing even on the self-esteem, the self-worth, how you view yourself, the decisions you make. That childhood stage is quite pivotal. Now, our guest today is an expert in this. She has gone through it, the full 9 yards. So she's not speaking to us from a theoretical point of view. No, she will speak her heart out because she has been there. She has been in this shoe. We are going to talk about dealing with hearts, with wounds of the heart. And I'd like to invite our guest this evening, and she will tell us more about herself. Karibu sana. It's good to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Tell us about yourself.
Well, my name's Regina Kamoche from Daraja 360.
Wow.
I'm the director and founder of the Daraja 360 CBO.
Okay.
So I think that's it for now.
What do you deal with in Daraja 360?
We reach out to teenagers, youth, and women.
Okay.
In terms of vulnerable, that is, vulnerable teenagers, youth, and women who have been afflicted in different ways in the community, including rape, gender-based violence, and poverty, and all sorts of manner of things and experiences through programs like education programs or scholarship programs, where we transition them from one level of life to another. And we have mentorship programs, comprehensive life skills, because we have realized our youth in our community, including women, and everybody else needs life skills. And those are the things that have been overlooked so much in our community. We realize even going through those sessions, I actually feel if I went through these kinds of sessions before, then I wouldn't have gone through the things that I went through that were negative. So that is for character development and decision-making, resilience formation, so that we can be able to go through day-to-day life. And other programs are economic empowerment programs, including we have a social enterprise on textile, which mentors the youth through textile. We upskill and we create jobs in the same space. So we also have a digital skills space, which offers basic skills for the youth and women in the community. Free digital skills. Free digital skills.
Like free, nijilete tu?
Ujilete tu.
Okay.
So that we can be able to provide those avenues, because the technological world is very dynamic, and it has been incorporated in many industries right now, and many people don't have jobs and some of them are losing their jobs as a result of lacking the basic digital skills that can be incorporated in their careers.
What really inspired you to move into that? Because somebody might be wondering, why are you so much focused on the less fortunate, the vulnerable ones?
That one is a deep question. For me, it is a passion, a very deep passion, because I started these programs after I finished my degree level. That is in the year 2007. Just reaching out to the women. Number one is because I've been able to go through so many things in life, including, I think, most of the things that vulnerable people are going through. So having grown up maybe in a middle level kind of family, I never went through poverty until later on in life, but I went through abuse and gender-based violence and rape, those kinds of things that maybe young people or a young person would not know how to go through that. And we are still suffering the consequences of these things even after so many years later. And zilinisumbua even after, and I healed just like a few years back.
Oh, really?
So, yes.
Is there a particular wound that you'll be vulnerable enough to talk about that really affected your perspectives, the way you viewed yourself, self-esteem, self-worth? Because that is exactly what our viewers are going through.
That would be a very long story. I think we would need another day to go through my experiences.
All right.
Because they range from different kinds of things. For example, rape when I was maybe 12 years old.
At 12?
At 12 years old.
All right.
Yes, I will not speak about that so that I can not victimize maybe the person who was involved or something of the sort. Maybe gender-based violence. Gender-based violence, I would talk about having been in marriage, because due to the consequence of the rape, all right, the abuse when I was a little bit younger, I went through a lot of emotional damage and low self-esteem that I went into relationships early.
Okay. What were you looking for exactly in the relationship?
Because once you go through, maybe you're a rape victim or an abuse victim, there are things that happen to your emotions or to your psychological state or your mental state. There's a way that you start seeing yourself, you know. You are affected by self-esteem, self-unworthiness, self-hatred, and all these kinds of things, rejection, and all these manner of things. So you find yourself, as a result, there are other things, or because you manifest these things because you are wounded internally, but you manifest these things through behaviors, because we know that wounds of the heart specifically are not seen.
So
like
wounds
physical.
of the heart are manifested through behaviors?
Absolutely. They are manifested through emotions, behaviors, and a thought process, or a thought pattern in some sort of way. So you find all of these things that I was going through, they led me to enter into relationships early. Because one thing I wanted to do is break maybe the cycle where rape victims are not able to date or do something.
Yes,
so I wanted normal kind of relationships, you know. So I wanted to do that so that I can break something in me, not knowing that I'm entering into other things also.
It's getting worse.
Exactly.
More of a pattern.
So it's getting deeper and deeper and deeper. So I got married when I was not really young, but
not really prepared.
I wanted to get married. I wanted to get into relationships, but they ended up, because I started dating when I was in campus.
That was not young.
It is not
for
young.
dating.
No, it depends. It depends where you are emotionally, psychologically, and where you're coming from. Because even my family, where I'm coming from, we are so many in our family. We were like 10 children.
10 siblings?
Yes.
And you had both parents?
Exactly.
All right.
So, and we were...
That's an entire football team.
Exactly. It was fun growing up there, but there are disadvantages also of growing up in a big family, because there is no one that caters for your emotions or psychological needs.
At an individual level.
At an individual level.
That is very true.
So you're given everything. For us, we had everything we needed. Not everything we needed per se, but basic needs.
But the basics were there.
Provided. We never lacked food, school fees, and all those things. But your emotion, nobody cares about your emotional needs or you just survive it somehow. Inside there, the battles, the conflict, you survive it out yourself.
So even these unfortunate incidents at 12, you didn't have anybody to share with?
Not really.
You have survived it all through by yourself?
Absolutely.
Wow.
So I don't know, even if my mother sees this today, you should like, oh, really?
Really? Wow.
But I didn't want to talk to her later on, because it would still stress her. Where was I? And
why didn't you tell me and all that?
You know, so I didn't. So I survived it out myself. So coming now to relationships, this is where now you're finding also that psychological, emotional connection with maybe that person who tells you, oh, I love you, and stuff like that.
Just the word love. It draws you like a magnet.
Love, After going through, again, abuse, just the word love means a lot. You know, means a lot because of the way already you feel about yourself. You know? So I entered into relationships early. I made that decision to get into relationships. I dated a bit in high school, but it was not serious because my dad was fire.
Yeah. Angeachilia kijaman shepherd.
Alikuwa jaribu. Mimi nilikuwa nasema nitakuwa none, by the way. If my dad passed on when I was in Form 3, that was already another source of trauma.
That's another wound.
That's another wound,
on top of everything he had been going through.
Exactly. So my dad was the breadwinner, sole breadwinner, and he was a support system, although not emotionally. He was never there fending for 10
children. But at least he was providing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he was a strong pillar that we looked up to and everything.
Yeah.
So having passed on, it added on to, I wasn't able to deal with such a thing anyway.
Wow.
So my mom started struggling with 10 children, and we are still so young, tumepangana hivi, you know. So my mom continued to struggle, and I was in Form 3 at that time. So I was dating, but nilikuwa najua relationships hata sio njia naweza pitia because of my father.
Yes.
So when he passed on, I was like, oh, okay, now I can date. You know, I can actually start dating. But I started dating after Form 4.
Okay.
You know, because of that. So I got married. When I entered into campus like this, when I finished campus is when I got married.
All right.
I got married, not for the purposes. And then when you start dating, because I started dating in campus and everything, there was a lot of heartbreak, character development.
So when you wound, you are wound.
Exactly. Because even you're getting into the relationships with the wrong kind of motive.
Yeah.
You know, you're looking for somebody to love you and feel that emptiness within you. Not really because you love them back, because you want them to do something for you.
You are in need of something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So because of these wounds, you're just allowing those. And you can't stay. By the way, at that point when you're so wounded, kuna mahali huwa inafika mtu anafika hopelessness.
Oh.
If you see people, because I feel like maybe in the religious circles, we are not able to understand such behavior that very wounded people experience or manifest. You know, there are people that have gone through very deep wounds and a compounded kind of trauma through so many things, and they are not able to deal with that. Wow. And the only thing they're looking for is love. Especially women, they might look loose in some sort of way. But what they're looking for is love. It's not really the behavior around it. You know? So those people who will have children with one person and with the other, they're only looking for love. That's all.
It's just that the manifestations are different.
Yes, and they really don't care. Wamefika mahali, they really don't care about what happens to them. Okay. Just somebody to just love me back. That's all they're looking for.
That's all they're looking for.
And they will keep going from one person to the other kwa sababu hajui hata kukaa peke yake inasema nini.
Wow.
You'll jump to the next relationship before you leave this one. Even men, by the way, right now you see the behaviors that are there amongst the young people in the dating circles. Why are people flirting so much? You know?
There's something they're looking for.
And you have like a series of girlfriends or boyfriends that are lined up in your phone, and you're greeting this one while you don't, because we have gone through a lot of character development that in that, you know, I can't stay alone, but you have the fear of being rejected.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
So you have to keep a number of plan B's and C's and D's, and just if I see any signs of you leaving me,
at least I have this one.
Yes. So you keep the other ones pending. You want them close, but not too close.
To destroy this one.
No. No, don't destroy this, but don't come too close, but don't go too far either. Kuna watu wanakuanga wamewekwa tu hapo.
This is very informative. I know umeguzwa mahali. Lazima kuna mahali umeguzwa. Now what you need to understand is that hurting people hurt people.
Right.
You see, the trajectory came from a wounded place. And until she dealt with that wound, she was only attracting wrong relationships, getting into the mud more and more. Kama gari imekwama, the more you're skidding, the more you're getting deeper. But we're going to take a short break. But before you leave, I'd like to tell you, don't touch that dial, because you see, we are talking about dealing with the wounds of the heart. It's very important. Each and every one of us kuna character development tushapigwa, but we're going to learn from the best. And umesikia, this is not theoretical. This is practical. Amekapitia, and she's been vulnerable enough to share bits and bits of her life. But guess what? She is now a director, a CEO of a very big company, which is supporting hundreds and hundreds of young people. So your story has not yet come to an end, because we want you to take charge of your life. We're taking a short break. We'll be right back after this.